Hello, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to today's webinar on how to electronically track and manage your equipment with Sage ToolOps. Our subject matter expert today is Colby Lathrop from ToolWatch. Just a few housekeeping items before we get started. Everybody is on mute, so if you do have questions, please type them into the questions box, and we will be happy to address them at the end of the session. The webinar will be recorded, and we will email out a copy to you later today. I will now turn it over to you, Colby.
Krista, thank you very much, and I appreciate that. What we want to do today, and I thank everybody for taking some time and joining us, we want to talk about ToolOps and an integrated management system for operations. And a lot of you are probably joining saying, you know what, I want to track my tools. I want to know where things are. We are certainly going to address that today. But one of the things that we want to take some time is talk about really the integration with the Sage family of products and how ToolOps works with them. A couple of items. Agenda-wise, we're going to take about the first 10 minutes and go through some slides explaining operations management, what it is, how it affects your business, and then we're going to jump in and show product. We'll be demonstrating the desktop application, also the mobile, both from the warehouse and from the field side. And then at the end, as Krista said, we'll be going through some Q&A. So Sage ToolOps, let's talk a little bit about how big of effect it can have on your business. So certainly the ToolOps product will track tools, equipment. And when we talk about tools and equipment, I think we say be very broad in what you want to manage, whether that's maybe ladders, extension cords on the small end, combo kits, compressors, generators, skid steers, trucks, trailers, yellow iron. Really, this product is designed to manage each one of those items. Also can touch the material and consumable pieces of your business. So if you're warehousing anything, that's part of the ToolOps product. Field requisitions, pick tickets, transfers, all those items are in here, as well as purchasing, receiving, fulfillment, maintaining stock orders. The product also encompasses your safety, inspections, service plans, compliance, calibration. All of that is part of the Sage ToolOps product, and really a piece that helps a lot of companies change the way that they operate and do business is the job costing and billing portion. So we'll be touching on those live in the product as well as we get a little further in. But I want to take a little bit of time and kind of explain what is ToolOps. And really, the product was designed with one main feature saying that field productivity is improved when internal operations are improved. And that means you've got to have a good system in place that enables you to help the field work more efficiently, and a lot of companies are lacking in that today. So, why is this such a big deal? Well, this slide talks about global productivity in construction, and if you look closely here, the bottom line, the orange one, unfortunately, is construction. It's pretty much been flat since 1995. We've had about 1% growth each year over year. The top line is manufacturing. Obviously, I understand that we're not in manufacturing, but it just shows that we've struggled as an industry, construction. One of the takeaways off of this, though, I get from a lot of people is, this is global productivity in construction, Colby. We're in the US or we're in Canada, we're in North America. And it stops at 2014, essentially, this graph. So recently, I pulled the latest information available from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And we're going to go through 4 slides. This picks up in 2013 and takes us out through September 26th of 2019. And you can see on the single family side, productivity is really below where it was in 2013. And you're probably thinking, great, I'm glad I'm not in single family building. Well, multifamily, the same thing. We're below where we were and we're on a downward trend. The industrial building side, this is the one side that's up very minimally since 2013. but you can see, been headed down since 2015. And then finally, the heavy highway sector, the road and bridge people, a pretty sharp downward trend there. And, what does all this information mean? Why is this? Is it because we don't have a connected job site? Is it this? Is it that? I guess if we knew the reasons, we would be brilliant, but that's why we rely on McKinsey. So McKinsey Global Institute did some research, and a couple of things that they say. One is construction is one of the most stagnant major industries in the world. Productivity is falling. We saw that. Other industries have really taken the time to radically modernize their business processes, while construction hasn't. And then a lack of technological investment by construction firms. So, a lot of times we see those graphs and we want to point the finger kind of at the field and saying, you're not doing this. But a lot of times, as operational people, we need to take some time and say, maybe we're not supplying the field with the correct items, the correct tools to be successful. So the McKinsey, additionally beyond this, they came up with 7 areas that would help improve productivity. And if we dig in here, the first 4 we don't necessarily touch as Sage ToolOps and an operational management system, but the bottom 3 we certainly do, and that's improving procurement and the supply chain, improving on-site execution, and infusing technology and innovation into this industry in a very simple, user-friendly way. So we're going to dig into just a couple of those here. Really the supply chain of construction. ToolOps touches each one of these pieces of the supply chain, whether it's delivery or the receiving or requisitioning, ordering tools from the field maybe, or ordering tools from a vendor and having them shipped to you. The whole procurement and fulfillment, managing each one of these items. So ToolOps certainly will track your tools at a very, very base level, but there's a lot of features and functions that go beyond just kind of tool tracking at a basic level. Infusing kind of technology and on-site execution. Well, what we really do through the ToolWatch apps and desktop is tie your back office, your warehouse, and your field all together, talking in the Sage ToolOps product while integrating with 100 Contractor and 300 CRE. How's the product offered? Hey, Colby, we want to track tools. That's what we care about. Or we want a job cost and bill, or we want to use APIs to bolt onto other products. So really, this lays out how Sage ToolOps is offered. We've got tool tracking, tool management, and tool enterprise. And these are built to start anywhere you want and move in a direction. So the tool tracking, or Sage ToolOps tool tracking, what is that designed for? Well, it's integrated with 100. It's kind of a basic level. It's going to show you what you have. How many of these tools do you have? Who has them? How many did we lose last year? It's going to leverage the mobile apps. It's hopefully going to eliminate a lot of unnecessary purchases, because with a click of a button, you'll be able to look out and see how many threaders or benders or compressors do we have in the company and where are they available. So that's the tool tracking portion. A lot of people start there and then begin to migrate kind of to the tool management side. And tool management, again, is integrated with 100. It becomes integrated with 300 CRE at what we call level 1 and level 2, and we'll talk about those levels. But additionally, this is going to provide you with the ability to job cost and bill your tools and equipment against projects. You'll have the ability to set up service reminders, calibration, routine maintenance. It's going to pop up and say, have you completed this? It's going to provide you with OSHA documentation on things you're doing, as well as an ROI report that says, hey, we are making money every time we buy a skid steer, or we're losing money on our scissor lifts. It's going to show you all that information. And then the final product is the Sage ToolOps Enterprise product, which encompasses everything that we talked about, But additionally, it gives you access to APIs and custom reporting through the data analytics cloud, and really enables you to push it deeper into your organization. So those are the 3 levels, and about done on the slides. I've got one more slide that I wanted to, actually 2 more that I want to talk about. And really what this kind of represents is the battle that goes on sometimes when we're trying to manage tools and equipment. And it starts out saying, we can't find anything. We don't even know what we have. How did we spend $3,000, $30,000, $300,000, whatever the number is last year on tools, and we don't have any of them left. So that's kind of the tip of the iceberg. But then as you drill in a little bit deeper, we start to see tool hoarding. And tool hoarding is somebody may be out on a project manager saying, gosh, I need one welder, so I've got an additional one just in case that one breaks down, and you know what, I've got a third one sitting out under a tarp in case that one doesn't work. And it just has a big impact on the company. And if you're not tracking tools, it happens all the time. Next is items that are arriving late, missing parts, wrong items, pieces like that. And that really begins to affect that whole field productivity. And even deeper in that is the unnecessary spending of rebuying tools, or unnecessary spending on labor. Like, we sent the wrong items out to the project, and now we've got to go to Lowe's, Home Depot, it doesn't matter the place, to pick up bits, blades. And I think we all know what happens. Everybody with a driver's license is volunteering to go to Home Depot, because that 20-minute, 30-minute trip pretty quickly turns into an hour trip, and lunch and pieces like that. So big effects on the company by not having the correct tools on a project. Even deeper than that, though, some of the questions that people have, should we buy or should we rent tools? Missed billings, inaccurate job cost. This is an absolute huge piece. People struggle with this today. Well, we're costing projects using Excel, and we get the PM, and at the end of the month, she goes back and she figures this and she sends it into accounting, and somebody accounting tries to manipulate the spreadsheet. All of that goes away with the Sage ToolOps product. Additionally, that service and calibration, damaged tools, when are tools due back? We're not sharing information across the company. All this is going to be eliminated with the Sage ToolOps. And then one that really hurts, especially on that finance team or back office side, is that duplicate entry. We set up a job in 300 CRE, and now we need to set it up in ToolOps. No, all of that's taken care of with the integration. You put a job into 300 CRE or 100, it's going to flow right down into ToolOps. So this is a high-level overview kind of what we call ToolOps and the operations management side of it. We're now going to jump into a demonstration of the product. So give me just 1 second, and we'll transition to that. All right, just a quick screen check. Krista, can you see my screen with the Sage ToolOps product up on there?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so what we've done is we've logged into the home screen of Sage ToolOps, and down the left-hand side are modules that are included. And again, we talked about tools and equipment. Think broad. Think maybe we want to track the laptops or phones that are being allocated to personnel, or more traditional tools and equipment, those items. The next module, materials and consumables, just as it sounds, bits, blades, paints, fitting, pipe, whatever it is, you can track it. You can track it at multiple warehouses. You can assign it to a project. It can be billed to that project, should you choose to do that. Pick tickets and transfers. This is really the fundamental underpinnings of the product is a transfer. Hey, I sent these items to this job, and we have electronic documentation of what that job has maybe signed for. So all that, the pick tickets we'll talk about. The pick ticket enables somebody in the field to log into the system, order tools. It will alert somebody at the warehouse saying these tools have been ordered and they need to be sent out to a project. Service and calibration, again, we hit on it, but very high level. This is any of your routine maintenance or something becomes damaged and we want to write a service request. And the service request is come out and look at this. And now maybe a mechanic gets out there and they decide that we need to write a work order. So you can flip a service request to a work order. So it really manages a piece of the business that a lot of people struggle with. Purchasing and receiving. This enables you to create purchase orders, send those to your tool vendors or material supply vendors, have them fulfill those, ship them to you, and really manage your inventory levels. Job costing and billing, again, one that really changes how people do business. We can essentially internally rent tools to projects on the job costing side, or on the billing side, if you're maybe doing some T&M work or change order items and you can charge for tools, we're collecting this information on a billing level and then pushing that into 300. So these are the modules. Again, we'll talk about the mobile device here in a minute, but where I want to really start is on the tool and equipment side. Very basically, what you do is as you begin to implement the product, you create categories for your items. And we can certainly help you along with this process. Most of the companies are pretty good at knowing how they want to name these. But for an example, if I wanted to know how many air compressors I had in the company, quickly I can click on that. At the bottom here, I see I've got 50 compressors in the organization. And how are they tracked? Well, three ways. One, with an equipment number or asset number. This is a free-form number that a lot of you may have on equipment today with a magic marker engraved, a paint pen. So this is a number that we could type in and track the tool or piece of equipment. The next is a barcode. And these are durable barcodes. One of the things that we get is gosh, I don't think barcodes will stay on our tools, or they fell off years ago and things like that. Well, the technology behind barcodes, as funny as it sounds, has changed. These are all coated in Teflon. They have a super strong 3M adhesive product on the back. So for the most part, they will stay on. If not, we have some that go on with a 2-part epoxy that are, not coming off. And then a serial number. So we can track it any of these 3 ways. You just have to have one of those. Additional information here that's available is manufacturer model, but the one that really is important is assignment. And that's where that item is currently assigned, whether it's assigned to an individual employee, maybe the Bass Pro job, maybe a warehouse, a truck, a trailer. All of that is taken care of in assignment. So, this is a nice view into all my compressors, but more realistically, what do I care about? I care about locations of tools on jobs. So maybe I come in here and say, on the soldier field job, what items do I have? As I click on that, I've got 15 items total, and here's a list of each one of those items that's on the soldier field job. And this operates like a big Excel spreadsheet. Maybe I want to sort this by description or by asset number, things like that. So additionally, we can see at the soldier field job who the supervisor is. So if we do have a dispute over tools, or we're missing something, or we're having issues, we can go out and we can talk to Don Bell and we can say, hey, Don, you signed for these 3 weeks ago and now you're telling me that you do not have any of those. Can you help me understand what's going on? This can be exported to a CSV. You could print this. You can certainly run in the application a number of reports of tools by location or assigned to people. So about 120 canned reports in the application that enable you to work through it. Now, one of the big things is we get asked is, how do we assign tools and equipment, materials, consumables to a project or to a person? And that's through a transfer. And today, we'll just say something is leaving the main warehouse. Well, where's it headed to? You could have a barcode in here that you could scan that would pop up the job, or you can begin to type in here. It's got smart search, so it's going to recognize that we're headed to the Bass Pro job. One thing that happened, and it doesn't have to, is we defaulted in a cost center. So if we want to bill these items or job cost these to a project, it's going to happen automatically in the background. We could additionally, some people want what we call like dual responsibility, meaning that these items are headed to the Bass Pro job, but we want to put a responsible party in that. And maybe that's Krista, maybe that's Colby. So not only can we see these tools have been assigned to a project, we can also see who that responsible person on that project is for each one of those items. From here, a number of ways that we can move these items. We can use our mobile phone, an iPad, an Android device, a tablet. We can use a corded scanner, which I'm using today. We can use a dedicated scanner, but there's a number of ways to move these items. And from here, we begin to scan those particular items, adding them to a transfer ticket. And there's 3, we'll add 1 more. Now maybe we come across something that does not have a barcode, so we can type that in, 91870 here. It's a bigger piece of equipment. So we hit that, and we've just added this particular backhoe. This transfer is really ready to take place right now. Now, there are a couple things that our clients like to do as they get up and running on ToolOps, and one is return date. And this just simply says, hey, these items are due back by the end of October. If they are not returned, just let me know so I can talk to that project manager and let her know that, gosh, we're still missing these items. Can you help me understand? And then the other one is certainly not necessary, but a lot of people, as they transition into a digital system, they're very worried. We don't have paper. This is really hard for us. So I do click this, and then when I go ahead and process this transfer, it's going to move each one of these items from the warehouse to the Bass Pro job, and right now it's going to print me a transfer ticket. The transfer ticket that's going to pop up here in just a second, it is recorded digitally, so we will certainly have that information digitally. But again, if you want that kind of safety or security blanket of paper, here we can see that, move from the warehouse to the Bass Pro job, here are all the items. So that's a transfer ticket. Those items have been moved to that job. We could search each one of those items, but the big piece now for people who want to really begin to track costs and manage those and move away from kind of that standard, well, our tooling budget is 2.5% of every labor hour, and we just kind of use that as a burdened rate. They want to begin to have that more accurate rate. Well, in the job cost and billing area of ToolOps, you have something called rate sheets. And rate sheets are just billing schedules. You can certainly do them for materials and consumables. You can also do them for tools. I like to start at tools because there's a lot of functionality that's designed in here. And as we drill in, you're going to see a number of rate sheets. And why do we have so many rate sheets? Well, maybe we've got some capped rates that our equipment caps out for our field at 80% of fair market value. So we're not, charging the field above and beyond fair market value. Or maybe we have jobs that are in, New York State versus New Jersey, or we're going to Pennsylvania, and we need to put different rates in there. So that's what you're looking at here. You can have unlimited rate sheets. If I drill into a fairly standard rate sheet down here, though, as this populates, you'll notice we're collecting job cost information and billing information. So if we want to know the true costs of those tools at the field level, that's great. We're going to have those. If we want to pass along these rates to owners, outside stakeholders, marked up rates, we can certainly do that with the billing. But if I take a look at a job cost rate sheet, let's just look at a compressor. So a basic compressor has a base value of $516. When it goes out to a project, that project is going to be charged $11.50 a day, $38 per week, and you can see those weekly charges. We can come up with monthly charges as well, so $55.01 a month. Now, if you want to charge straight daily, that's great. If you want to just do weekly, that's fine. If you want the system to figure rate of best fit, we can do that. 3 days becomes a week, 2 weeks becomes a month. You really choose in the setup, and all your rate sheets can be different. But now, just by transferring items to a project and off of a project, we're beginning to collect that job cost information. And I'll show you here in a job cost report. As we drill in, we've got a number of different reports. We've got all our posted information on the billing side, unposted, down to unposted job cost here. The report that gets run by lots and lots of our clients, a very friendly report for a lot of users, is an unposted job cost. From here, you would choose the project that you want to run it for. Maybe you want to run it for all of them. We'll just run it for an Arrowhead Stadium job. These dates enable you to say, hey, we want to run these weekly or monthly or daily job cost. I'm just going to run it for everything because there's not a lot of data in here. But now, as I run this job cost report, you're going to see that it gives you a very detailed breakdown of items that were on the project. So on the Arrowhead Stadium project, these 2 air scrubbers were out there. They've accumulated $97.50 in job cost. And again, keep in mind, this could be billing, and this serves as a great backup for owners. As we scroll through the report, we can see down here, bottom line here, that $9,257.61 is going to be job cost against my project. If there's a dispute, we can handle it before this gets posted. So maybe my project manager, she calls the office and said, hey, I did not have this laser level on my project. Can you remove it? Yes, we can. So if you have security, you can remove those charges or manipulate those charges in almost like a pencil copy, kind of in the old school ways of billing. So once this report gets approved, it goes out and it notifies somebody, if you're running in the integrated system, that, hey, these items need to be moved into 300 CRE, and they come across on the job cost side. So that's job cost, billing, that information. Materials and consumables works very much the same way. It really manages materials, consumables at particular levels. Again, you create categories, and from here, maybe at a stock location, I want to know, what do I have in my warehouse? Here's a list of the 74 SKUs that you carry in your warehouse, and you see quantity levels. You can assign these out to projects. They'll be billed against projects. Service and calibration, just briefly, what this does is, again, you set up reoccurring service events, and it alerts you saying these items need to have service and calibration events completed on them. And that really comes from a dashboard. So just with a single click, we can see tools needing to be serviced. And what this does, it pops up the 52 items that need to have maintenance done on them. And some of them are high urgency, normal. You can drill into them. You complete that service event on those tools and equipment. It documents that. If you maybe want to collect the charges, that's fine, that's great. You can now run an ROI report, and an ROI report is actually it's a great piece of functionality that was driven by our customers. And what it does, it enables you to see either information at a particular tool or a group of tools. So right now we want to know job cost wise, maybe we want to know on all my air compressors or all my backhoes, are we making money? Or, you know what, we have one piece of equipment, 91870, that backhoe, that it's just always in the shop. So now we can run an ROI report, and it's going to provide us some pretty key information about item 91870. It's going to show us that it's a backhoe, that we purchased it in 2012, paid $46,000 for it used. We've spent $3,581 on service, maintaining that, whether that's service from an outside source, whether that's our own internal mechanics, it can be either. But we've only job cost $6,595 against that particular piece of equipment. So, without depreciation, we're upside down $42,000. Maybe we should rent backhoes, or maybe we should make sure this one gets out in the field, or maybe we should leave this one on a job site and never to be seen again. So supplying very, very key and vital information, not only to the field, but to the back office as well. Purchasing and receiving, this enables you to really manage inventory levels should you choose to. This will alert you saying, we have items that have dropped below low-level thresholds, and whether those are tools or those are materials. And from there, you could create a purchase order and order those items from your vendors. So really, the modules, you pick and choose how you want this. A lot of people, again, they care about tools and equipment. That's where we want to start. We don't know what we have. We want to get a handle on that. That's great. That's a fantastic way to start. And as you become more comfortable in the system, people push it out further and deeper into the organizations. So that's the desktop interface. I'd like to take just another minute, and then we will emulate my screen with the mobile device. So, and Chris, I'm going to do one more check up on here. Can you now see it says Colby Lathrop ToolWatch Field?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, great. So what we've got here is the mobile app, and we've got two flavors of this. We've got what we call ToolWatch Field and ToolWatch Warehouse. And really the field application is designed for kind of those boots on the ground, somebody at a foreman or a superintendent level, maybe a project manager even. The beauty of the Sage ToolOps system, though, is it has what we call UAP, which is an unlimited access plan. The product is charged on the number of SKUs or number of assets that you want to manage, and they're in big groups like 0 to 500, 501 to 1,000, and they kind of go up from there. But what the unlimited access plan encourages is participation by the field and by your drivers, and maybe really anybody in the organization, because it's a very simple interface, and I'll show it to you. So maybe I have a question as somebody in the field, and I need to search for a particular item. Well, the company has tools assigned to me. Well, what tools do I have? So simply by tapping on my tools, I can quickly see items that are assigned to me. And I've just got 4 of them, but these are currently assigned to me. And backing up, maybe I care about tools by other employees. Maybe I'm a superintendent or foreman, and I've got final checks for a number of people on Friday, and I want to make sure that those tools or those employees don't have tools assigned to them before I give them their final check. So we can do that from here. Or items by location. What items are on my particular job? And here at Soldier Field, we looked at that earlier. Here's a list of every one of the items on that particular job. We can also search them by category. I need to find compressors. Well, here's all your compressors, and you're going to see where they're assigned. Dean Bailey, Bass Pro job. And now we can make a phone call, or soon we'll be able to put in a requisition to say, hey, ship that from the Arugula Station job to the Bass Pro job tomorrow. Have one of your delivery people pick it up, or maybe I'm going to run over and do that. So all available here in the app. Additionally, we could move, and I'm going to show you in a minute from the warehouse app how we move. But if you want to enable your field personnel to move items back and forth, you certainly can. a lot of people say, well, that's the last thing I want is my field people moving items between projects. And I understand a little bit of that apprehension, but also they're going to do it anyway most of the time. So if you let them do it, the receiving party will receive an email or a text saying these are tools that are being transferred to your job. The next piece of functionality is a requisition, and this has really, really saved a ton of time for both the field and the warehouse. And what this enables somebody in the field to do is come in here from their device and order for their particular project. We'll say it's US Bank Stadium. Do we have a due date? Yes, we're going to be realistic. It's tomorrow. If there were notes, you could type it, deliver it to this corner of the project, or, Martin's going to be here to sign for it. We hit next. From here, people can add these items. So do you want to add everything? Do you want to specifically just look for tools? Do you want to just look for materials? We'll keep it open, everything. And from here, I want to order compressors. Well, we've got a whole litany of compressors. Which do you want? You know what? I've got to have a big towable. And in fact, I need two. Okay, great. In the search bar, I need grinders. Okay, great. Which grinders do you need? So by tapping on that, it's going to bring up all the grinders that I have to choose from in the company. You say, hey, I like, I'm a fan of yellow here, so that, and I need 12. Well, what else do you need with your grinders? I certainly need grinding discs. And how many of those do you need? 50. Okay. So you get the picture. This is adding all these items to this requisition. And now, again, it's for US Bank Stadium. So when I come in here, maybe at the end of the day, I could save this all day long as a draft. Or you know what? I'm ready. I need to submit this because I need these items tomorrow. We received a successful submission, which is great. And now somebody at the warehouse just received items that need to be transferred or picked out to a particular project. So now we can come in here, and again, they're getting a text alert or an email alert, or it can go to a group distribution. But now I come in here and I search and I look pretty quickly. This is the one that just got ordered, US Bank Stadium. It's in a status of requested. So from here, I'm going to drill into this. And I'm the warehouse manager. I'm really looking over this for a couple things. One, I want to make sure that the due date is somewhat realistic. And I also saying, 2 towables, that's great. 12 grinders, yeah, I can do that. 50 grinding discs, not a problem. And making sure somebody didn't say 50 towable compressors and things like that. So I've kind of got the ability to change numbers requested. But everything looks good here, so I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Is it ready to pick? Yes, it is. Now, once I put it in that status of being ready to pick, my people can go out, or me or whomever, we can grab those particular items, we can scan them with our dedicated scanner, again, with our cell phone, with our iPad, with our Android tablet, it doesn't matter what device we're using. As I scan those, it adds them back to one of those transfer tickets. And again, the transfer ticket is the tracking mechanism that says what job is receiving what, and maybe even kicking off job costing and billing. So now those items are scanned, assigned to the project, and they begin job costing. So that has saved so much time. And I always like to give a real world example from our clients is I'm a superintendent and I need these items. And so today's world, I call the warehouse, and the warehouse manager is unloading a truck. And then that warehouse manager now calls me back and I'm in a safety meeting. And then I call them back and it's lunch. And then you just go through this huge process of telephone or maybe a text, and you don't know what is a yo-yo. Well, a yo-yo is a lanyard to me. So that's why we put pictures with it and why it's a simple requisition process. So it's really saved a ton of time, not only for the field, but the warehouse has increased accuracy, delivery of items. Everybody's just really operating on the same page. The last piece of the field app is a verification. And this just simply says, hey, Colby, what tools are you responsible for? Well, here are my particular items, and I'm going to tap on them. This is a soft verification, we call it, or soft inventory count. That's a bit hard to see, but what it says is verified. And that just simply means that I have these in my possession and they're accounted for. All right. So that's the field side of things. We also have the warehouse app. And again, you can have access to the desktop, to the warehouse app, to the field app. You choose, you enable your people to have what they want. But when I look at the warehouse app, it's the same like layout and design, but different functionality. So again, I can search now, or I can create a transfer ticket now, which is sending items from location to location. I can do a true hard inventory count where I walk around and scan items saying, hey, we expected 61 tools on this job. We only counted 50. Where are the other 11? Let's go out and figure that out. You can create a new item on the fly. So I'm a driver and I have to go by Home Depot and I have to pick up a new chop saw. Well, I can add that chop saw to the inventory from the mobile device. The big one here that happens a lot, and whether this is, again, with a dedicated scanner, it doesn't matter the device, is the ability to search and then create a transfer ticket. So I'm going to go out and search, and I'm going to search items by location. And again, we'll use Lincoln Financial Field here. Here's a list of every one of the items, and we are hurting for triple nickel benders. So from here, what I could do is I can add this bender to a transfer ticket, and then you can see at the bottom it's been successfully entered. And now I can go out and I can look at my transfer ticket and say, from Lincoln Financial Field, well, where's this headed to? Maybe this is headed to a different job. Maybe it's headed to the back to the warehouse. You pick, and we'll say it's going to the repair shop. Additional information that you don't have to add, but you can. So now we've got a transfer ticket that's moving from Lincoln Financial to the repair shop. We hit next in the upper right, and there's that particular bender, which is great. That's on there. But now, you know what? There's other items that I need to add. So you can type them. You could use a Bluetooth scanner, or should you choose to, you can tap right here. And this has really been optimized, the camera has, to grab your items, add them to this transfer ticket. And now we've just added all these items to the transfer ticket. My cart is no longer grayed out. As soon as you put an item in, great. Again, we could type and add items here. But here, as I tap on my shopping cart, we now see that these items are ready to be transferred from Lincoln Financial Field to the repair shop. Here's a list of each one of the items. So again, this could be going job to job, job to person, warehouse to warehouse. We don't necessarily care. But as I tap on this, transferring these items, it now brings up a list of employees. From here, maybe somebody's signing for it. So it's a project manager. It's Angie. So I tap on Angie. That documents her receiving, and then we want to get a signature from Angie. So Angie signs right here. We hit done. Those items have been moved from job to job with a signature and electronic documentation that they moved and Angie signed for them. One of the things that we get a lot is, gosh, there's a lot of transfers that have just taken place, and how do I even begin to manage those? Well, transfer tickets really, again, is that electronic documentation of everything that's taken place. And as I drill into this, you can see that this is the one that just took place from Lincoln Financial to the RefChem repair shop. The transfer number is pretty important because it documents how that happened. WH means it happened from the warehouse app. Just a straight number means it happened from the desktop. The FA shows that it came from the field app. And so, I can go back in here and we have a dispute on this FedEx field transfer. So I can drill into it. It's going to bring up each one of the items that was assigned to that particular project, when it happened. Again, if you wanted to get a signature capture, that would be in there. So now we've got documentation that shows all those particular transfers. And with that, I think that's pretty much the end of my side. We're right about the time limit. Krista, any questions that have come up or things that we'd like to address here?
Yes, we have a few questions. The first question is, do your optional barcodes have the ability to be scanned by mobile phone, or do we need a specialized scanner?
Yes, so you do not need a specialized scanner, and they could just a cell phone, again, Android tablet, and it really has been optimized to make that scanning easy from your mobile device. And so no, you do not need a dedicated or special device to scan these barcodes.
Okay, the next question is this available on iOS and Android and all platforms?
It is. It's cross-platform. So again, whether you're using your cell phone, and the feedback that we get, and we try and make it work the best optimized for phones, is the fewer devices that my field personnel are handling, the more efficient they're going to be. So again, yes, you can use it on your phone. It's Android, it's iOS, it's across all platforms.
All right, great. And the next question is, how is this application priced?
Yeah, so very good. And again, we talk about the unlimited access plan. So a couple things about the Sage ToolOps product that really make it unique and great is, one, the unlimited licenses. So if you get a subscription to this application, everybody in the company can have access to it. There's unlimited training that comes with it. So if you want to train everybody in the company, every 3 months you can. But to directly address that question, the pricing is based on the number of SKUs or big groups of tools or materials that you want to track. And they're kind of 0 to 500, 501 to 1,000, 1,000 to 2,500, and they go up from there. And certainly, a Accordant can get the actual numbers, and we're happy to follow up, but that's the way it's priced.
Okay, great. That looks like it's all the questions we have for now. Oh, actually, there's one more. Can you elaborate on the basis of job costing for tools and equipment?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So on the job cost portion, as we send those tools out to projects, again, they are going to start to accumulate billing charges or job cost. And you can pick how often you run those charges, and we can see current charges, charges to date. We have something called the billing browser, which I failed to even mention. There's so many things in here that I didn't get time to talk about. But what the billing browser does, it enables you to take every project that you have and run either the job costing or the billing reports for each one of those. So again, we used Arrowhead Stadium earlier, and I have a question about this backhoe. I can drill into that. It's going to provide you a very, very detailed listing of the charges. So this is where a lot of your field personnel, your project managers are kind of jumping in and looking and seeing what charges accumulated. But as those charges accumulate, and again, they get posted in here or approved, that locks the cost code and cost center. Once that's locked, it goes out and it notifies somebody typically in the back office on the financial side, that says, hey, these 16 jobs are ready to be posted. You want to just take a look and make sure all the numbers look right. Once you do that, great, you hit post. those items move into 300, and again, they're coming across as either a job cost or marked up billing rates into 300 CRE. So hopefully that helps. I'd love to talk more about it. I'm pretty passionate about the job cost and billing portion. I really feel like it changes how companies do business, and it's very, very easy to run inside ToolOps.
Okay, great. So if you do have any other questions, you can certainly reach out. I'm going to send the recording out. You can respond to that email. We'll also have somebody follow up with you. Thank you again for attending today's webinar. Thank you, Colby, for the presentation. We'll be emailing it out later today. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us at any time. Thank you all and have a great day. Bye now.